This is Joel Osteen. Joel is the pastor at Lakewood Church. He has a huge following with 3.15 million subscribers on YouTube. With all those followers, he needs to have a huge room to fit them in. And he does. Lakewood has a capacity of 16,800 seats. Let's look at one of the sermons Joel led in that sold out church. It is titled, Your Faith. It has over 2.6 million views. He is talking about Mark chapter 5 verses 25 to 34. It says, And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, Who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, Thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, and be whole of thy plague. This is what Joel picked from it.
Jesus was passing through. She had heard the stories of how he had healed a crippled man, how he'd opened blind eyes, how he'd cured someone with leprosy. Something came alive on the inside.
Without a doubt she heard about it. However, where in this verse do you see that quote-unquote, something in the inside came alive? Nowhere. Maybe that's a mistake. Go on, Joel.
The reason she could keep going is she kept the right thoughts playing in her mind. I can imagine she was so exhausted, she finally fell to the ground and had to crawl the last few feet. Just at the right time, she reached out and...
All that is still not in the Bible, Joel is trying to dramatize the event. The reason she could keep going is that, as the verse says, she thought she could be healed. It is really that simple. But what is Joel's point?
But there's nothing more powerful than your faith. When you believe, when you expect things to change, when you keep saying to yourself, I know the breakthrough is coming.
Unfortunately, there is nothing weaker than a man's plans in his heart. It is the will of God that stands, as you can see. But there's more.
Your faith can stop the creator of the universe. That's what activates his power.
So our faith is what activates God's power? Well, how did he create the heavens and the earth without our faith? Maybe you think he means the faith in him to help us. But that is wrong too. In Genesis, Sarah laughed when God told her she would give birth. That does not sound like faith to me. Yet God still delivered, and Isaac was born. You see, God cannot be all-powerful if he depends on us for powers. How can he who created us depend on us for power? That is illogical from Joel. But when he talks about faith, what should we expect from our faith?
This lady touched him. Are you brushing up against him, or are you touching him? Are you living with expectancy, knowing that he's bigger than those problems, greater than that sickness, more powerful than that opposition? Or...
So Joel implies that faith and believing is what makes things happen. These Christians were martyred by ISIS. Did they not believe that God could save them? Was a lack of faith their cause of death? No. How about Christians who get sicknesses and die from them? Is their lack of belief their cause of cancer and all other cruel diseases? No. The motivational speeches uttered from Joel are unbiblical and illogical. If you think these clips are taken from different parts, I am not even 6 minutes into his sermon, but I will stop there on that one. Joel has actually done this before on a sermon called something like, The Power of I Am.
I want to talk to you today about the power of I am. What follows these two simple words will determine what kind of life you live. I am blessed, I am strong, I am healthy, or I am slow, I am unattractive, I am a terrible mother. The I ams that are coming out of your mouth will bring either success or failure. All through the day, the power of I am is at work. We make a mistake. I am so clumsy. We look in the mirror, I am so old. We see somebody very talented, I am so average. We get caught in traffic, I am so unlucky. Many times we use the power of I am against us. We don't realize how it's affecting our future. Here's the principle. What follows the I am will always come looking for you.
Herod wanted to kill Jesus as a child. I am sure he thought he would because he was king. Why did he not? Was it because he didn't believe enough? If he had believed, would he have succeeded? No, that is foolishness. You see, you cannot go and sit outside and say, I am this and that in your head, and all of a sudden, wow! You no longer have cancer. You're healed. You stopped aging. You became a billionaire. You turned into another person. It does not happen according to our belief. You see, all power is with God. He is the Almighty. All things were created by Him and for Him. You control just as much as I do. Nothing. Moreover, Psalms chapter 115 verse 3 says God does whatever pleases Him. In that case, since apparently we only need to believe and have faith to do whatever pleases us, are we God? No. Look at James chapter 4 verses 13 to 15. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. It is all by the will of God, and thinking that we create and control every scenario is foolish and even prideful of us. We do not know what will even happen tomorrow, so what about controlling the world? Do we know? I know sometimes school gets to us, work gets to us, family gets to us, and we need motivation because it gets hard. But you do not need a false multimillionaire pastor who got rich by taking advantage of you, lying to you some more. The Word of God has plenty of inspiration that you can use to push yourself. But the best one to help you when you're feeling down is knowing that this is temporary. We will be with God in heaven for eternity. The world is hard, but paradise will not be. We will all be full of joy in the presence of our Creator. Romans chapter 8 verse 18 says, For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.